All right, guys, Coach Z, or Instructor Z here, Coach James, still hitting the half guard, top and bottom. We got another one for you. This is a real good one, and I use this quite a bit. The good thing about this is this actual attack to get to a better position from the bottom can be used in a lot of different scenarios. I can use it from full guard, right? I can use it from on my knees. I can use it from standing up. It's called an arm drag. I'm sure it rings bells with a lot of you guys, but I have a little variation here. And I differentiate between my arm drags like this. I call one of them dynamic, meaning I just jump on it, hasty dynamic, try to catch them off guard, right? Using athleticism to the best of my ability. And some of them, I just use good old technique and position, and I go deliberate, meaning I didn't really surprise him, right? But he really can't fight it based off of the position that I put myself in, right? He knows it's happening, but it's hard for him to fight it because I get such a good position and use the technique at my disposal, right? So first things first. Obviously, I want to win this middle position. That's a theme, right? We're remembering this in all our half guard, bottom or top positions. We're winning this inside position. I want what I want here, not what he wants. Now, as I get him, I give him a little push-pull. I'm making him think about several different attacks. I'm controlling the wrist, right? I've got the knee shield in, right? He might think that I'm gonna push this knee shield through and go to an underhook, right? Start coming up, put him in a bad spot, threaten his base, right? Well, I like to do that. I like to pull this arm across sometimes. Sometimes I'll hold that wrist, and he brings his own arm across to help out over here. And then I come up and grab. He basically arm dragged himself for me, right? But when I have to be a little more deliberate, instead of doing the typical stay there, arm drag position where same side or wrist all the way up high onto the shoulder or tricep area to pull across. It's more of my hasty or dynamic approach to it. I do it more deliberate, so I switch my grips here, right? So instead of this way, I'm gonna go this way. So check it out. So he's in, and I gotta move my leg obviously, but I'll grab over top of the wrist here, and I'll turn it and push the whole arm across. Usually he'll start squaring up here, whatever, so I can't stay here long. But what I find is, with this underneath grip, thumb up grip, I can push it into his belly, and I can hold his arm here, and just push it into his stomach. This is going around now, the popular reverse Kimura, right? We're talking about going here, right? And I'll let you see it on Coach James's arm, like a reverse Kimura, but I'm not trying to win anything. I don't have really control of his posture right now, so I'm not trying to torque on his arm. I'm just pinning it to him, right? And he can tell you, if he pulls back, it's very strong. I'm pushing it into your belly, right? You're not very strong here. Nobody does lifts like this, right? You do lifts here, right, or lifts here. But pushing like this is kind of hard. So I'm pinning it to his belly. So again, I grab here, pull it across, direct his elbow, direct the upper part of his arm, and I'll try to pin it. And then, depending on how he fights it, right, determines where I go from here. Sometimes I do this just enough, and I sit up around him and sit up off my hips quickly, and I'm around his back now. I turn this way. All I have to do is maintain my chest towards his back, try to pull this elbow through to get back through. I'm staying heavy here. You can't pull that arm. I can let go of this arm. I don't need it really. Then I can start working back attacks, breaking him down, working to get my other hook in, so on and so forth. So let's do it from a different perspective here. So again, as you're facing on, scoot back just a little bit. I'm here controlling this position, and when I see an opportunity based off of how he's defending against my other attacks, whether it be pushing him away, grabbing the wrist, I'll grab and pull across, right? And it doesn't matter if he starts pushing my head with that arm, squaring me up, that's fine. I just do it again. I move my hips away, but I'm still holding here. And he can still fight this to some degree, but it's kind of hard. If I pull him back and drive myself around his arm, pull myself up into this position, it's hard for him to defend. Now, I'm not going to sit around here forever. I could get all the way into this position, sit up a little bit. You can see my figure four lock, right? Or I can just hold it here. Sometimes I just baseball grip it, just like this, like a baseball bat, and pull it across, right? As long as I get him just to move just enough so I can sit up around this arm and look, I've essentially got exactly what I want here. I'm close to his back. All right, I might not be scoring points yet, but I'm pretty dang close, and I'm sure he doesn't feel good in this position once I get here. So, just a little detail, work with it, work. Obviously, everything that we show you needs to be worked with some resistance at some point to see if it truly works and make sure you're doing it right. And hopefully one day after this all settles down, we're back in here together, we can work the resistance. But if you got a child at home, your loved one, and you just want to work through just the mechanics of it, right? Moving that arm across, just see what it feels like. Put them in that, take the videos we've already shown you, explain to them, just like we're trying to explain to you, the basics of the half guard position, right? And that'll help you learn it as well. The more you say it, the more you hear it, the more you process it, right? So, and just pull that arm across. See what works for you. Do I grab it like this, grab it like that, come to the top of the arm and push across, pin it to his body, my belly, and my chest as I sit up around him. Just see what works, man. I want you to play with it. And I can tell you 1,000 times all the perfect techniques that work for me, but there's no substitute for experience. If you tried it out on one of your loved ones, don't hurt them. But maybe you get them into jiu-jitsu. Maybe they get the jiu-jitsu book, right? And we get them in here, and we'll all be a happy family, beating up each other all the time. So that's it. Drag that arm across. You got hasty or dynamic, which you do when you're trying to catch them off guard, catch them slipping, right? And then you got delivered. When I pin that to your chest or your belly, you know kind of what I'm doing, and you're fighting it, but it's hard to beat it because he's not very strong there, right? He has to get loose of that grip to get it off his belly. So hasty and deliberate, or dynamic and deliberate, and go around to his back. I can't think of a better place to be besides around my opponent's back in that position. And if I'm MMA, I'm hitting that guy. So it's going to be a bad day for him. Anything to add to that, Coach James?
No. Question. Is that a technique you can apply in a gi?
Yeah, definitely. And the gi is a lot easier because I can grab that sleeve, that baseball bat grip that I did on his arm when I was demonstrating. I just grab the sleeve, right? And it's hard as heck to get that grip off the sleeve, especially when your arm's extended way out here and I start pulling it around. And then I just pin it to the mat and come up and sit around behind him. So it's even easier. As we all know, the gi has those grips and it makes things a lot easier for lazy old guys like myself. So that's good to have. So tune into Facebook. We got more videos coming your way. When this is all over, we'll get in here and do this stuff, and don't lose your edge. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.